Well, let's get into this. I want to share with you that my favorite mug was broken by my child doing the dishes. And I want to use this as a metaphor, and it's, not lost on me that where it broke was the heart, the middle of the heart. But I want to use this as a metaphor. And so I love handmade mugs. It's my, just one of my little joys and how I collect art wherever I go. And this particular artist lived in Ashland, which is not far from me. Um, and so I got this mug from her. I found her, I wanted it, I loved it, I fell in love with it. And then she moved, and then now she's only on Etsy, and then now she's off Etsy. And so when the cub broke, there's no way for me to replace it. And I had some feelings about that because it's my favorite mug, and it's, I can't replace it. And so I want you to imagine this. I want you to imagine that every morning I drink coffee the second I wake up. It's ready and we start drinking coffee. And then we move to hot tea, and I drink herbal tea much of the day. And so I use my mugs a lot. And I want you to imagine that every day I go to the cabinet and I go to get that mug, and I re-feel all the feelings of frustration because my child was being careless about it. Um, I start to take it personally, like, why did he do this to me? Um, I only want my coffee and my tea in this mug. No other mug will ever do. And I start to just flood myself with all the feelings attached to this mug being broken. I hold on to it well after it's obviously not usable. I talk about the mug. And while I'm doing all that, I talk about how I wish I could just fall in love with another mug, right? Wish I could just have that same experience with another mug. But every day I open up the cabinet and I have the same conversation with myself. And we look at that and we go, well, that's ridiculous, right? Move on, get another mug. It's sad and we can't fix it. There's nothing I can do to ever make this mug reusable. I could glue it back together and it could become a vase, but I can't use it in the same way ever again. And that's sad. And hanging out in that space will never change the fact that these two pieces will never go back together in the same way, right? So I want you to think about how many times we do that in our life, not the mug, but how often we hang on to what was. And we keep reliving it and we keep telling the story over and over. I'd like to have a relationship with that person, except let me tell you about that time 2 years ago when this happened, right? I wish I could do this, but here is what happened. And these things are real in the past. But the longer, every time we go back and we remember and we retell the story and we refocus, it's like opening up a box and jumping in it and having that whole experience over again. Our limbic brain, which is where we hold our memories and hold our emotions, are not time sensitive. So when we go and relive that experience over and over, I am literally having the same emotional response and moving to the parts of my brain and activating different neurotransmitters and oppressing other neurotransmitters because I'm reliving an experience that happened in the past that I literally have zero control over. I can never change that, right? All I can change is my brain's focus to accepting what was, accepting that this is broken, accepting doesn't mean I have to love it or like it or even forgive, right? I can just say, that has happened, and I am literally powerless to that moment. Where my power lies is right here. What would falling in love with a new mug be like? What do I love about this mug that I would want to bring into this next mug? What would I imagine it would feel like or even sound like? Like I really love the how it sounds when I put a full cup of coffee down or when I'm stirring something into it. What would that be like? And then I begin to purposefully, intentionally move myself to what it is I want. Our brain, if we don't involve ourselves, will continue to go back to this, right? And so mindfulness is the ability to catch myself. My God, I'm talking about this again. My gosh, I am reliving this again. My goodness, I have traveled down the road for 20 miles, and my whole 19 of those miles, I've been lost in this past memory, reliving and refeeling this. So, can I catch myself lovingly and say, that hurt, that was hard? I'm going to move my mind over to here because this is where my power lies. What do I want? What lessons can I take from that? What's important about that? But I'm going to keep refocusing my attention here. So, we're going to use our practice this morning just to strengthen that muscle, that ability to observe and refocus lovingly, compassionately, over and over until we retrain. So, with that, close your eyes. You can take a soft gaze if you'd like, which just means you're not really taking in the sights around you, just rather focusing on an object, bringing your attention inward if you can, exploring how your heart and your mind is playing with that information it just received. Letting it go to any spots that you need it to go, any particular areas of your life. And as it lands there, if it's landing, just allow it. Imagine it just being absorbed. This reminder that we can only be here. We can only be right here. And the only power we have is right now. Just allowing that to absorb into your mind, into your being. And find a source for your focus right now. You might decide it's the bottom of your feet, your heartbeat, your breath, a sound, a mantra. You land. And our goal is just to catch our mind when we wander from this area of focus. And to lovingly, compassionately bring it back. That's the whole job. As you keep your focus on whatever it is you've selected, You might find that you can bring humor and lightness. You can bring curiosity. What does this thing look like, sound like? What colors are present? What patterns are there? This isn't a strain. This isn't a force. This is full of ease, full of acceptance of our humanity, full of love for this part of our brain that wants to go fix, wants to go change something in the past, trying to help heal. And so we can love that and then compassionately bring that energy back to the present moment. Over and over. Focus is just returning to your object or your thought. It's not about stopping your brain from traveling. It's just simply about bringing it back. Catch it and bring it back. And we're going to close this practice. Allow any insight, love, feeling, thought that you want to bring with you into your day to come along. I always imagine just tucking it into a pocket. As we close, just thanking yourself for showing up, for doing the work. And when you're ready, open your eyes and come back together. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for being here. Enjoy. I hope you find a good cup of coffee or tea. I have moved on. I do have another. Here's another. See, another beautiful mug. All right. Be well, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.